The game consists of 2 to 4 players and 1 facilitator. The players are people who will draw the cards, form sentences, and perform the respective signs displayed on the cards. On the other hand, facilitators are in charge of keeping score and approving and rejecting sentences that were formed based on its validity. The 2 types of cards are words and phrases. The phrase cards serve as prompts for the players to answer, while word cards are pieced with the phrases to form a sentence. Players are handed out 10 word cards at the beginning of the game. An equal number of cards will be drawn at the number of cards played after each round of play. Therefore, throughout the game, every player should have 10 word cards in their hand. There are 2 types of cards, the blue cards and the pink cards. The pink cards, when played, allow the players to pick a card from another player's hand and swap with a card of their choice. When swapping cards, one must first choose which card to give to the other player before they pick from the other player's hand. The blue cards have no effect. Players begin by answering the introduction card. The introduction card requires players to introduce themselves by fingerspelling their names. There is an alphabet sheet provided as reference for beginners. Before fingerspelling their names, players are required to write their names down on a piece of paper and show the total amount of letters used to the facilitator so they will know how much points to give. In the spirit of fairness, only the first names of those players will be written down. The game is played on a turn basis. Players introduce themselves in an alphabetical order, which also determines their turn order. This turn system is also applicable when the sign of the cards are performed. The game also comes with an alphabet sheet. Some phrase cards require players to use the alphabet sheet. Each letter used is 1 point, but players only get a maximum of 10 points from their words, which means that words with more than 10 letters will only incur 10 points. Points derived from the alphabet sheet should be written on a piece of paper before it is tallied by the facilitator. Players have the option to use the alphabet sheet in all phrase cards, especially if they want to make their answers more specific. For example, Mount Carmel, fingerspell, plus church, word card. Additional points will be rewarded for each letter that is fingerspelled, just like during the introduction phase, as supporting details to the word cards played. Players are required to arrange the word cards with a given phrase to form a sentence. The facilitator will pick out a phrase card and give players 15 to 20 seconds to choose which word cards to be played. Once the timer is up, players will put down their chosen cards face up at the same time. After putting down the cards, players will have to perform the signs on their cards with the phrase in the correct order. No signing equals to no points. Players can only secure points after performing the sign in the correct order. For beginners, they can ask for help from the facilitator or more experienced players in performing the signs. There is no time limit in performing the signs since some players are not yet familiar with FSL. But players may opt to add the time limit and have no guidance from the facilitator or other players to make the game more challenging. The facilitator can approve or reject the sentence of the players. When the facilitator approves the sentence, players get points and draw new cards from the deck to replace the ones they have just played. If a player cannot form a valid sentence or the sentence is rejected by the facilitator, they will skip their turn and gain no points. Players have the choice to reason out and persuade the facilitator to accept their answers. The game ends when there are no more phrase cards, and the player with the highest points wins. For the point system, fillable phrases have no points. Individual word cards can be up to 5 to 20 points. And for alphabet, 1 point per letter, with a maximum of 10 points.